What's crack-a-lackin'? Welcome in to My Mind is a Weapon Fantasy Football Show.
So if you guys are new to the channel, this is my tight end stardom sit-em board here for week 8. The top black box is always the away team. The bottom box is always the home team, guys. And before we dive into tonight's game, Thursday Night Football, the Vikings taking on the Rams, I always like to throw a shout out to my co-host who sends me information behind the scenes that I use for my videos, guys. Use for all my research. This is behind the scenes numbers, stuff you don't see. So make sure you smash my guy a follow. I'll put his YouTube link and his Twitter link in the description. It's Big Draft Energy. He's a co-host. He'll be on my show Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. I'll be on his show tonight, Thursday as well. So if you guys want to tune in there, we'll be covering tonight's game and what we like here and there. Now, get your phone out right here. Screenshot this on your computer. You pause the video right here, whatever you want, especially if you like DFS or if you like pick'ems. This is the information that I use for a lot of my stuff in fantasy football. So, Big Draft Energy right here, Big Draft Headquarters Twitter. Make sure you go smash a follow to my guy, 100%. This is tight ends with the most advantageous matchups for week 8 for touchdowns. So these are the defenses that give up the most touchdowns to tight ends. So as you can see, I always talk about how bad Jacksonville and Carolina's defense are. They are right there at the top, guys. We're also going to look at tight end receptions here. So this is the most advantageous matchups for the top 10 defenses to give up the most receptions to the tight end position. So Brock Bowers, the Kansas City Chiefs, ranks so bad versus the tight end position. He is going to be an absolute smash this week. Now, pulling up the yards here. This is the most advantageous matchups for receiving yards. As you see, Brock Bowers right at the top again. Kansas City Chiefs, they really struggle. David Njoku. Hawkinson, if he plays tonight, I don't think he'll play. I think it'll be limited, but we'll talk about that here when we get to the game. So if you guys want to rewind it here, take your phone out, screenshot these. These are very important information stats behind the scenes that you guys don't see. So now heading into the Thursday night game here. I mean, this is going to be probably the biggest games for the Rams right now. They have to win this game. There's a lot of trade rumors swirling. So when I'm looking at the Vikings side here, I want nothing to do with this. Even if TJ Hawkinson is out there, right? Say the matchup is the best matchup in the NFL and say that the Rams are the worst versus tight end. This guy's coming off a major injury, probably going to be a couple 2 to 3 game ramp up before he even gets back like 70% snap share. And that's what this matchup is. The Los Angeles Rams ranked 31st versus the tight end, 16.3 points given up, 28th on the season versus the tight end, 24th in the red zone, so high touchdown upside. They give up 67.8 yards to the tight end position, which literally ranks second last in the NFL. But again, he's coming off a very bad injury, and he's still questionable, by the way, so I don't even know if he's going to be out there. But if he's out there, I mean, you can throw him out there because the matchup is great, but I just don't see him producing, maybe he'll be touchdown dependent, I guess you could say. But I don't see him getting anywhere close to a full workload, and I think he's still going to be a sit for me. On to the Rams side, Colby Parkinson just has not done anything with the opportunity that was given to him. He saw a massive target share, I believe, week 6 or week 7, but still, I mean, I thought that he would be a way bigger play this year with Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua being out, with Stafford being his quarterback, and it just didn't happen. He's been a floor play decently of like 5 to 7 points. He had a 12-point spike week. That's about it. I mean, no touchdowns on the season. Very, very weird showing to me for Colby Parkinson and what they paid him in the offseason. I am not starting him versus the Minnesota Vikings with Cooper Kupp back. He's going to funnel almost every single target, especially with the trade rumors, right? So the Vikings rank 18th versus the tight end. They rank 15th on the season. They rank 29th in the red zone, so there's a high touchdown upside as well. 46.7 points, which is about 46.7 yards, which is middle of the pack there. And again, Cooper Kupp is back, and if the trade rumors are real, they're going to funnel a showcase game to Cooper Kupp here of 15 to 20 targets. So I'm not really excited to start any other Ram but him in the receiving core this week. A sea of red game here is coming. We have the Carolina Panthers, and Bryce Young is going to be the starting quarterback because Andy Dalton hurt his hand in a car accident. And man, Ja'Tavion Sanders, guys, a guy that I've been talking about all year to keep your eye on. Loved him coming out of Texas this year, right? I was super high on him out of the draft. I know he got put in Dave Canales' system where I'm like, man, I watched Cade Otton last year take 97% of the snaps and do nothing with it. All of a sudden is having a breakout. So he only played about 20% of the snaps, from week 3 to 5 here. Then week 6 and 7 goes up to 70% snaps. Then he pops 2 back-to-back games, averaging 11 points as a tight end. Starting to see 13 targets in the game, and now you have Bryce Young back at quarterback. You're going up against one of the best, I think the best defense in football, but if Andy Dalton was out there, I'd have Jatavion Sanders in yellow in this game because this is the only weak spot the Denver Broncos have is the tight end. So they rank 20th versus the tight end, giving up 11.7 points, 21st on the season, 12th in the red zone. They tighten up there. They're going to get Patrick Surtain back this week as well, and they give up 47 yards, about middle of the tier. But again, when Bryce Young is out there, we've seen what happens, and this defense is going to absolutely rattle him. Onto the Broncos side, I don't even know if they have a tight end. I could put Adam Troutman up here. He does nothing as well. I leave Greg Dulcich up here because he was one of my guys I was high on before the season started. And all of a sudden, he's just inactive all the time, even when he's healthy. I don't know if they're hiding an injury or what's going on, but he's the most athletic tight end they have. I don't understand what's going on here, and it's just rough. He's just been inactive. This guy was like the second on the tight end award coming out of UCLA, very athletic tight end, and they just don't use him. It's just something very weird to me. I'm not starting any Denver Broncos tight ends probably for the rest of the season. We got the Saints led by Spencer Rattler heading into the Chargers this week. Chargers need a big win here coming up that Monday Night Football loss. Saints season's kind of reeling here. And this one's going to be kind of interesting to me. So this is the first time all year I'm going to have Taysom Hill on a start. Now, he's been questionable this week, and I don't really like, boomer bust, joker type players to start him, Jameson Williams or Xavier Worthy. I usually stay away from him because I just don't like the zero you could possibly get. But when I'm looking at this game, so the Chargers are a top 5 defense against the running back and the wide receiver. Their weakness is the tight end, but they don't really, Taysom Hill is not really a tight end. He's going to play everywhere. So I'll look at the Chargers here first. They rank 21st, giving up 12 points a game. They rank 3rd in the red zone, so low touchdown upside for a receiving touchdown for the tight end. 54 yards in the season, which is bottom 12 in the NFL yards per game to the tight end position. But Spencer Rattler is going to get rattled in this game, right? You're going to see different joker packages. You got Kamara with a broken hand playing through it. Taysom Hill is going to be a start for me this week, and I never like saying that. But again, you got to make sure that he's out there healthy first with the injury updates. It's still questionable, but he's practiced and limited. But you could see him getting carries with Kamara with a busted hand. You could see him getting a couple, toss pass plays or some weird plays. Kubiak draws up or whatever it is here, because we know that Spencer Rattler does not look good. And it's just been really rough. You're going to get Olave back out there too. You got Shaheed out for the season. It's just been a nightmare for the Saints with injuries, kind of like my 49ers, man. And I'm okay starting Taysom Hill in this game. I think he could really pop in this game just due to the game script and how it's going to be his usage. So it's the first time all year I'm okay with him. Finally, on the Chargers side, not to say finally, like I don't want to see Hayden Hurst get hurt, but he goes on to IR. And Will Dissly is no longer in the tight end split, and he gets the job here. And all of a sudden, you know how much Justin Herbert always likes his tight ends, and Dissly has a pop game. So it's kind of interesting when you look at it because I know he's questionable right now. He didn't practice Wednesday, whatever, but he saw 11 targets, guys, as a tight end. That is insane volume that you want. He got 16 points. He had 8 receptions, 81 yards. I mean, Will Dissly looked good out there. So the New Orleans Saints first, the tight end right now, currently on the season, guys. They're middle of the tier. They rank 17th. They also rank 17th in the red zone, and they give up 53 yards, which is all around about 17th overall. So their defense is, middle of the tier versus tight end. And you're going to have Lattimore probably drawing one of the wide receivers. He's a great lockdown corner. You could get a touchdown. You could play Will Dissly this week. Again, you got to pay attention to the injury updates here. But 11 targets, I'm never ignoring that in fantasy football. And I know how much Herbert loves his tight end. So if he's even on your waiver wire right now, it's a nice pickup for a backup tight end. Or if you need to just throw someone in because of injuries or something like that, you definitely can throw him in. The all systems green smash tight end game is here. The Kansas City Chiefs with the newly acquired DeAndre Hopkins are headed in to face the absolutely falling apart Las Vegas Raiders. But they have one bright side in Vegas. They do, and that would be Brock Bowers. Tight end 2 on the year right now, and absolutely balling out, and he gets the matchup of the gods. So we're going to talk about the Raiders first. So just because this is just enamoring numbers. The Kansas City Chiefs rank 32nd, dead last versus the tight end, 17.5 points. They rank 14th in the red zone. So they're stingy up there, but the touchdown upside is still there. Guys, they give up 83.5 yards to the tight end position. 83.5. Doesn't seem like a big number, but when you're looking at tight ends, second most behind that is 67.8. So that is almost 16-yard average over the second worst versus the tight end. That is how bad the Kansas City Chiefs are at stopping the tight end. absolutely smash play for Brock Bowers here. Travis Kelce, you're never sitting. I know the Raiders are good versus the tight end. They rank 9th on the season. They rank 11th in the red zone, and they give up 39.6 yards, which is also bottom 15. But again, it's Travis Kelce. I know you got DeAndre Hopkins out there. That may free him up a little bit. And I don't know about his first game back, though, or first game with the Chiefs, so I think it's going to be more of a ramp up, learn the system here. But Travis Kelce, since the injuries to Rashee Rice and Hollywood Brown, has just been getting fed down the stretch here, and he's going to get fed every single game. And he's probably one of the greatest tight ends of all time. I'm never sitting this guy. Love it. Back-to-back 49ers, Cowboys, all system green game here as well at the tight end position. So you're going to have Sunday Night Football, and the over-under has dropped here, guys, because both these teams are beat up. So to open the week, the over-under was 47.5. Now it's dropped to 45.5. I still think it's going to be over. I still think the decimated injuries on both sides for the 49ers and Cowboys is still going to allow a lot of points. And it's just the rivalry matchup between the two that makes it happen. So 49ers, Jesus, George Kittle is absolutely on a mission this year. And when you have Deebo Samuel possibly out of this game with pneumonia, we don't know. Got to check the updates on that. Brandon Ayuk's season is over. Kittle's value has just skyrocketed to the moon. Yeah, he's dealing with a foot injury right now. He's going to be good to go. He'll be fine. It's George Kittle. He fights through all of that. The Dallas Cowboys defense versus the tight end on the season is good. They rank 11th. They give up 9.1 points, but they rank 23rd in the red zone. So the touchdown upside is very high for Kittle here in this game. And they only give up 35.5 yards. But again, this is George Kittle. He can take a 5-yard play and turn it into a 50-yard yak play. That's what he does. So I never really matchup proof kind of tight end to me no matter who they're playing, especially with the injuries going on. His target share is probably going to go up to like the 27 to 30% range for the rest of the season right now. So, well, you get CMC back maybe like 20, 25%, but still, that's great, phenomenal numbers for a tight end. Now, the Jake Ferguson side here, you are going to have Fred Warner lurking in the middle, the number one linebacker in football. He's so good, it's insane. But the 49ers have started to struggle a little bit against the tight end. They rank 15th. They give up 10.5. They rank 20th in the red zone. They give up 40.4 yards, which is middle of the pack. And Trey McBride dropped a couple touchdowns. That could have hurt us versus the tight end. We've had a real struggle with Hufanga being out. I know we got Ward back last week, but we're beat up across the board. So you can actually start Jake Ferguson just because, CeeDee Lamb's going to draw the attention. He'll be the second option. Probably see 7-8 targets. Good volume there at a tight end position where everyone struggles. I'm never sitting Jake Ferguson either this year, with the Cowboys' run game being what it is. We are just going all systems green, baby. Another game, and man, it is going to be really rough for the Bucs, man, from here on out. But Kate Otton's value has just skyrocketed. But we'll get there in a little bit here. So Kyle Pitts, everyone gave up on him. I did not. I've had him on my start for 3 weeks straight. It is absolutely smashed. You get another plus matchup here. The connection is working with Kirk Cousins and Pitts. It just took him time, man. Let him get used to the system. That was my point all year long. Kirk Cousins always feeds his tight ends throughout his career. So they get the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and you got to take these numbers, and you also have to factor in that their 2 star wide receivers are gone, right? So I'm looking at the tight end numbers. They rank 23rd, giving up 12.6. They rank 22nd in the red zone, so there's a high touchdown upside, giving up 59.1 yards, which is bottom 5 in the NFL versus the tight end position. And that is with Mike Evans and Chris Godwin out there where they can move the ball better on offense. So now you're going to get more opportunities for the Falcons. You're going to have Sterling Shepard. You're going to have Jalen McMillan. I want to see Jalen McMillan break out. I was really high on him out of college at Washington. But still, the opportunity is going to be more and more and more against the Bucs. It's going to be garbage time for them most likely for the next 2 to 3 games here. So Kate Otton, all of a sudden, you have Mike Evans go down with the hamstring. I don't know what he's doing out there at age 32 with a 4-2 record playing on a bum hamstring. You got Chris Godwin playing in garbage time, down 20, and his season's over. The coaching was just very sketch to me. But all of a sudden, when that happens, what does Kate Otton do? He's looked at on every single play, gets 5 targets down the stretch of the game. This guy's young. He's never going to be out for garbage time. He's the most usage tight end in the past 2 years at 97%. And now you get the Atlanta Falcons defense. They could even be the number 1 defense. They're not the number 1 defense versus the tight end, but they could be. But volume is king. So the Falcons rank 8th versus the tight end. They rank 4th in the red zone and 43 yards, which is bottom 10 to the tight end position. So, or not bottom 10, top 10. So they're a very good defense. But who are they going to go to, right? And they're going to be behind in this game. This is a pass-heavy game for Baker Mayfield in this game. And I'm okay with a smash start on Kate Otton. He's going to be on my video and smash start videos most likely because I do players outside the top 10, and I like him this week. Another almost all systems green here. We're going to go green and yellow in this game. The 5-2 Bills are headed in to take the 4-3 Seattle Seahawks in a big game. Over under at 46.5 in this game, so they expect the points to fly, as do I. Now, this matchup here, Dalton Kincaid. This is the pop game. Like, show me the ceiling here one time, right? You get the Seattle Seahawks. They rank 25th versus the tight end, giving up 13.3 points. They rank 26th in the red zone, so the touchdown upside is very high. 58.4 yards per game of the tight end position, which is bottom 5. So this should be, you have Amari Cooper out there now, going to draw Woolen, their star corner, or Woolen, however you say his name. And this should open up the middle now for him. He hasn't had a wide receiver one all year to even stretch the field or open it up at all. You have Khalil Shakir, yeah, he's okay. And now you have Keon Coleman, who played out of the slot and balled out last week. And this is the Seattle Seahawks weak point. This should be a monster game for Dalton Kincaid this week. Dawson Knox, he can always catch a touchdown, but he's never a dependable startable start, or where you feel confident. Now, Noah Fant, interestingly enough, this could be a decent game for Noah Fant here. And here's why. And not only the fact that he's been having a couple good weeks here. So past 2 weeks, he's been over 10 points each game, 12 points in week 6 versus the Niners. Like I said, the Niners have been struggling versus the tight end. If Noah Fant can do it, it could be a decent play for Jake Ferguson. That's why he can smash. Atlanta Falcons again. So I just talked about the Falcons. They're a top defense versus the tight end. He popped 10 points on them. And now you have a game against the Buffalo Bills. And when I look at it, it's like, oh, well, if DK Metcalf isn't out there, you get a volume boost to Noah Fant. But if there's any player that could play through a week-to-week injury, it is the man that is built in a lab that is DK Metcalf. He's done it before. So I'd be paying attention to updates on Friday, because that's the update right now. So they say no practice Wednesday, Thursday. We'll evaluate him Friday. So that's the DK Metcalf update. But if DK Metcalf isn't out there, you can use Noah Fant. So if I'm looking at it, and he did that versus the 49ers, and he did that versus the Falcons, both their defenses rank higher than the Bills versus the tight end. The Bills rank 16th, giving up 11.1. They rank 17th in the red zone, so possible touchdown upside. And they give up 45 yards. So he could be a decent play for another 8 to 9 to 10 point game here, especially if DK Metcalf is out. So keep your eyes on Noah Fant if you need a tight end play this week. And if DK Metcalf is out, I'm okay with the start 100%. The division grunge battle, usually defensive low-scoring battle, is here, but I think it's going to be different this week. The Baltimore Ravens are headed in to take on the Cleveland Browns, who are going to be led by famous Jameis Winston in this game. Over under at 44.5 points in this game. And what's happened, man? I try to tell you guys, it was Mark Andrews, is Mark Andrews, always will be Mark Andrews until he is done at the Baltimore Ravens. I know Isaiah likely had that start to the season. I just never bought into it. I know he's the bigger athletic specimen, but Mark Andrews is just a damn good route runner, a very smart tight end, knows how to beat the defense. There's just a difference, right? And look at it. This matchup is not great at all, guys. The Cleveland Browns are 4th versus the tight end. They give up 6.6 points on the season. They rank 2nd in the red zone. They give up 34.3 yards, so a top 5 in every single category versus the tight end. But that does not scare me away with superstar Mark Andrews. He has gotten 3 touchdowns over the past 2 games. The connection with Lamar Jackson is starting to pick up more and more. The foot injury kind of hampered him a little bit to start. He is older. You had to give him a little time, and now he is flourishing. I'm not sitting this guy the rest of the way. He's just too good of a tight end. I know the numbers were crazy. I told you guys to pick him up off the waiver wire when people were crazy dropping him. I told you guys to buy low. Now it's probably too late. Over to the Cleveland Browns side, oh my goodness, David Njoku. He just has probably the rest of the way, or the rest of the season, like a green bar, no matter what. With Amari Cooper leaving town, Jameis Winston now out there going to be gunslinging it. Jerry Jeudy will see a lot of targets as well. I mean, Jameis Winston came into the game as the emergency QB and fed Jerry Jeudy like crazy when he came out there. So that's going to be interesting to see as well, too, here. But you get the Baltimore Ravens. They rank 28th versus the tight end. They give up 14.1 points. They do rank 9th in the red zone. They stingy up there. And then they give up 76.6 yards, which is second worst in the NFL. David Njoku is going to smash in this game. He's too athletic of a specimen for them to even stop. But what might scare me a little bit is maybe they start to double him. Hopefully Jerry Jeudy can draw some of that off. Or Cedric Tillman seen a lot of targets last week too. Elijah Moore coming in there as well. It's going to be really, really interesting to see what Jameis Winston does with this offense. But I'm starting David Njoku and Mark Andrews 100%. one of those weird games to judge here. You got the 4-2 Chicago Bears coming off a win streak, coming off the bye, headed in to face the Commanders, who looks like Marcus Mariota may be the quarterback here. Now, nothing's official with Jaden Daniel. Didn't practice yesterday. Friday, again, guys, is always the big day to pay attention to. But fractured ribs, man, I've had the fractured ribs. I don't think he's going to be out there. Like, that was like a 3-week injury. I mean, I'm no NFL in-shape superstar like these guys. But why would they risk it, right? So even if I look at, like, use the Bucs for an example. They were 4-2, right? The Commanders 5-2. Why would they risk a re-injury of throwing their quarterback back out there right now versus a ferocious defense and the Bears that I think is the second best defense in the NFL? They're not going to do it. They're going to be smart. They're going to play Mariota. It's going to be a rough game for them. They take the loss. That's fine. They don't lose their season for it. So when I use the Bucs as an example, they have Mike Evans. They're 4-2, 31 years old with a bum hamstring, out there playing on it, re-aggravates it. Grade 2, which is even worse. He's probably back like week 12, 13, even though the updates say week 11. They throw Chris Godwin out there at the end of the game in garbage time, get him busted off. His season's over. Now the Bucs season's pretty much over. So unless they trade for Cooper Kupp and some miracle happens, but this is the stuff I'm talking about. So I don't think Jaden Daniel's going to be out there in this game. And when that happens, I'm not starting Zach Ertz. I really want to see Ben Sinnott out there. I like the rookie out of Kansas State. Hasn't got his chance yet. You can still throw Zach Ertz out there as a dart play because if you need it, I mean, the Bears, if there is a weak spot, it's their tight end, and this is how good their defense is. They rank 12th versus the tight end. That's their weak spot, right? They rank 15th in the red zone, and they give up 45 yards to the tight end position, middle of the pack. That is their weakest spot of their defense. This is a top defense all around. They're going to get Brisker back. They're going to get Gray back. This defense is going to get all their starters back off a bye. That's why they're not going to throw Jaden Daniels in this game. Onto the Bears side now. Cole Kmet, I know he's balling. Coming off the big game. If you have him, you're probably starting him. But I just say temper my expectations here with him because if Marcus Mariota is out there against this healthy Bears D, I don't see much of a pass attack if they don't score early in this game. I know Cole Kmet is a top 5 tight end right now in points. He had his 2 blow-up games. I know that. I just don't feel comfortable with the target share, and I think it's more of a DeAndre Swift-Roshan game if Mariota is out there. I think it's going to get really ugly because the Bears defense is just one of my favorite defenses to watch, man. But you can play both these tight ends if needed. I just don't love them this week. Oh, the game I cannot wait to watch, guys. High-flying game here. The Philadelphia Eagles 4-2 headed in to face the Bengals on a win streak. They're 3-4 trying to save their season. 47.5 point under the points are going to be flying. And in this game, I know Dallas Goedert coming back off injury. It's not official. I haven't seen the update yet if he's going to be fully back or not. But I don't see this as a Goddard game, right? Even though the Cincinnati Bengals defense is very bad versus the tight end, they're very bad versus the pass. They're not a great defense all around, no matter what. I just don't see. I mean, you're starting him if you have him. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying sit him. The Bengals are very bad versus tight end, so I'm throwing all these numbers out the window. They rank 29th. They give up 15 points a game. They rank 31st in the red zone. They give up 56 yards, which is bottom 5 in the NFL. So if Dallas Goedert's out there, he's a good play matchup based wise here. I just see this as the superstar 2 wide receiver showdown, right? So you're going to have A.J. Brown. You're going to have Devonta Smith off a bad game last week, which I called. I missed on A.J. Brown. I said it would be a Saquon revenge game, but at least I hit on Devonta Smith. But, he had a 0 last week, so, he's going to get fed more. The 2 wide receiver battle between Jamar Chase and T. Higgins is going to be electric between these 4 wide receivers. And I don't think the tight ends are going to be that much involved in this game. That's the only reason I'm putting Dallas Goedert in yellow. Yeah, you can start him. Yes, the matchup is great. I just think it's going to be more of a 4-man wide receiver showdown in this game. And Eric All, guy I'm keeping my eye on because I like him out of Iowa as a rookie, should be taking the job from Gesicki. He's a more athletic tight end. I know he's coming off an injury. He's a rookie learning the system. Keep your eye on to him because I like him a lot heading down the stretch, especially Dynasty. We finally have a sea of red game. That usually happens a lot in the tight end position. This is a good week for the tight ends, guys. All the matchups are actually here. It could be our first tight end university week for fantasy football this week in week 8. But we have the New York Giants headed in to face the 5-2 Steelers right now. Giants are absolutely falling apart. Danny Dimes is probably in for his last start in this game. You're going to hear Drew Lock. You're going to hear Tommy DeVito chants, all that, etc. Now, why I don't like both in this game. So Theo Johnson is kind of in that Eric All situation I just talked about with the Bengals. You want to keep your eye on the guy. He's out there at a top 7, I believe, snap share, participation. He never comes off the field. Penn State rookie. I liked him a lot coming out. But you get the Steelers. If the Steelers had any weak spot, it is the tight end. But they're just not giving him the ball. So this is the Steelers' only weak spot of their defense. They rank 22nd versus tight end, giving a 12.2, 28th in the red zone, 3.7, almost averaging zero point 0.5 touchdowns a game. So a touchdown every other game to the tight end position. So if you need a dart throw DFS play, something like that, it could happen. Do I like it with the Giants front being shambles and the Steelers pass rush? No, I do not. I do not like anything for the Giants this week. Not one single starter. Obviously, you're starting Malik Neighbors, but I mean, I don't like it. So now Pat Fryermuth's side. This was interesting to me last week. I thought, of course, everything I thought with Russell Wilson went wrong in one game, right? Can't get them all. So I was like, oh yeah, Pat Fryermuth, Russell Wilson will be out there. His numbers will take a little dip. They took a little dip in targets, but he still got 51 yards because the created passing space that Russell Wilson does to this offense helps everyone. So I know he only saw 3 targets, still had 7 points, still had 51 yards. But in this game, I do not like Pat Fryermuth in this game. The New York Giants ranked 7th versus the tight end. They ranked 6th in the red zone. They give up 35 yards. So pretty much a top 5 to 6 defense versus the tight end. But I look at game script here, right? And I look at how much are the Steelers really going to be passing. I honestly think the Giants maybe get like 5 first downs in this game, and the Steelers just run the ball down their throat with Najee and Warren. Yeah, could he get a touchdown dependent play? Of course, any player could. But I just don't like the odds here in this game for it. I'd rather start different tight ends than Pat Fryermuth this week. I think it's going to be a Najee Harris just ground fest game here for the Steelers. Another sea of red game here, and this one is so hard to explain to me. Coming off the tight end one last year, Sam Laporta, but we'll get there in a minute here. So the Tennessee Titans trading away everything, just traded their star linebacker away, traded DeAndre Hopkins away. You can tell that it is wraps in Tennessee. It looks like Mason Rudolph is going to be starting again here. And they get the Detroit Lions. Chigga Conquo maybe doesn't help him that DeAndre Hopkins gone. Who knows? I'm never starting this guy. I don't feel confident. Maybe if I'm taking a cheap DFS play with him, that's about it. The Detroit Lions versus the tight end guys on the season, they rank 5th, giving up 7.2. They rank 13th in the red zone and 27.2 yards. Second best versus the tight end position. So pretty much a top 5 to 4 defense versus the tight end if you average it all out. Don't like it here at all. Now, Sam Laporta side, I'm sitting this guy. I don't care. The game script here is not going to call for a heavy pass game for the Lions. He got 3 points last week in a smash matchup versus the worst team versus the Titans, like one of the top worst teams versus the Titans in the Minnesota Vikings, and did nothing with it. 2 targets, 25 receptions, or 2 targets, 25 receiving yards. Could Jameson Williams' PED suspension get him a little more targets, get him more involved in the offense? Yes, but not in this game. You're playing the Tennessee Titans. They rank 2nd versus the tight end. They gave up 6 points. They rank 8th in the red zone, and they gave up 29.5 yards, which is 3rd best in the NFL versus tight end position. What are you going to see in this game? You're going to see the Lions get a heavy lead. You're going to see them lean on Montgomery. You're going to see them lean on Gibbs. And Sam Laporta, man, I can't believe you can go from tight end 1 to possibly outside the top 20 tight ends on the season, which is just bonkers to me, which shows you how much of an aberration last season was. Aaron Rodgers and the newly acquired Devontae Adams hot streak starts now. They head into Foxborough to take on Drake May, Hunter Henry, and Tyler Conklin going at it in this game. And Tyler Conklin, I fear, is going to be the last, the man left out here out of this acquisition of Devontae Adams. So, did he get a touchdown last week? Yeah. Was it on a Breece Hall touchdown that they could have challenged? Yeah. Was the challenge flag thrown and it was a weird play? Yeah. Do I trust it? No. You're playing the New England Patriots. I know the New England Patriots on the season. You can pull up their ranking. Let me pull up my chart here for the tight end position. I switched it off on accident. They ranked 13th versus the tight end, giving up 9.7 points. They ranked 10th in the red zone, and they gave up 46.7 yards to the tight end position weekly, which is about middle of the tier average all the way around. But when you have Devontae Adams, Alan Lazard, who's another, he's got his whole Packers, group here, all Devontae Adams and Lazard, to go along with Garrett Wilson, who's going to be playing the slot. He'll probably draw Chris Gonzalez, or it could be Devontae Adams. I don't know how that's going to go yet. Tyler Conklin's going to be just a touchdown-dependent play. He's not going to see a lot of volume anymore. That's kind of gone out the window. Breece Hall's receiving work game was outlandish last week as well. Breece Hall is going to be my RB1 the rest of the way. And this is where the streak starts. This is where the Jets' schedule starts to get easier finally. They get Reddick back. He's going to be pressing Drake May like crazy as well. So in this game, dude, Hunter Henry is startable probably for the rest of the season, guys. Since Drake May has been there, I know you gotta temper your expectations a little bit here because they played 2 easy games, right? Actually, I'm not going to say the Houston Texans is the easy game. They're just not good versus the pass. So that was kind of a plus game for him there as well. And then you play Jacksonville. Jacksonville can't stop anything. They can't stop the running back. They can't stop the wide receiver. They can't stop the tight end. Their defense is absolutely terrible. And he goes for 17 points. But you're looking at 7 targets a game since Drake May's been there. And as a tight end, that's what you want. You're looking at a 70-yard average since Drake May's been there and a touchdown out of the 2 games. And what's going to happen for the Patriots from here on out? They're probably going to be playing every game from behind. What does that mean? More passing volume. What does that mean? Garbage time points. Hunter Henry with a $30 million contract. They're going to use him all the time to lead the way for Drake May. He's going to be the focal point of this offense, if not Pop Douglas. I mean, you could say that as well. But, dude, Hunter Henry is a startable tight end to me every single week, and it's probably going to be in my top 10 from here on out just because volume is king in fantasy football. We're finally back on that all systems green here, baby. The Jacksonville Jaguars, London's princess, that's been there for 2 weeks straight up. I can't believe they just stayed there the whole time playing football games. I think that's kind of crazy for them, actually. But now they're finally headed home this week. They're going to get to face the Green Bay Packers. And it's a 49.5 over-under game here, guys. So this is going to be an all systems green game here. And I know that if you look, well, let's talk about it here first. So Tucker Kraft, this is his smash play game here, 100%. Luke Musgrave still on IR. Either way, I like Tucker Kraft before Luke Musgrave when the season started. Either way, drafted him a bunch of best balls, said he's a better tight end. You can just tell that he is. You get the Jacksonville Jaguars, which we just talked about. They can't stop the tight end. They can't stop the wide receiver. They can't stop the running back. This defense is a pot of gold everywhere. Now you're going up against the juggernaut Green Bay Packers. Tucker Kraft's going to eat. They rank 27th or 13.5 points allowed, 27th in the red zone, 53.9 yards, which is bottom 5 in the NFL versus tight end. Smash play here for Tucker Kraft. Easy start for me. Evan Ingram on the other side of the Jacksonville Jaguars came out game 1 in London, 10 receptions, 10 targets, 100+ yards. Then week 2 comes out hot and is stymied the rest of the way. I thought we were going to see like the Evan Ingram explosion happen. Now you get the Green Bay Packers. Their defense is great versus the wide receiver, great versus the running back, weak versus the tight end. They rank 24th versus the tight end, giving up 12.8. They rank 19th in the red zone, so touchdown upside is above average there. And 54.9 yards, which is also bottom 5 in the NFL versus the tight end position. And kaboom. You have an all systems green game here with the tight end. You're going to have Jair Alexander probably on BTJ. He just locked up Diggs. Dude, the Packers defense just held Diggs and Tank Dell to 5 points, man. That is rough. So I'm not really excited about Christian Kirk. I'm not really excited about BTJ this week. I'm way more excited about Evan Ingram, and I think he's going to smash this week, and so is Tucker Kraft. Another sea of red tight end game here. The 4-3 impressive record Colts are headed in to face the 5-2 Texans in a massive, massive game here, guys. Now, with Anthony Richardson at quarterback, I don't know if a tight end is ever going to exist. I don't even know if I need to read the tight end numbers for the Texans. I will not. I will just tell you they're a top 5 or top 6, 1, 2, 3, 6 defense versus the tight end play or versus tight end position. And Kylan Granson and Mo Ali Cox, dude, come on. And Man Meat is hurt. Jelani Woods didn't make it out there this season again, hurt again. It's just abysmal at the Colts tight end position. There's nothing to talk about here all year long. On to the Texans side, and this matchup is great. The Indianapolis Colts, before we talk about Dalton Schultz, they rank 30th versus the tight end position, giving up 15 points a game, 32nd in the red zone, so there's a touchdown upside there. 53.9 yards, which is bottom 5 in the NFL versus tight end position, but I'm not falling for it anymore. I'm not doing it. You could possibly start him if you want. I knew I got talked into it last week. I got talked into this, of putting Dalton Schultz in yellow, and the matchup was great last week. The matchup was great before that. It just doesn't happen with him. I never wanted to draft him. I don't have him on any of my teams, and this is the reason why. I'm not starting him. I don't feel comfortable. The matchup is amazing. You can if you want. I just don't like taking this risk anymore. Could he get a touchdown? Yes. All the numbers point to it being great. I'm just done with Dalton Schultz. Last but not least, I saved this game for last in every single video because I'm so excited to see Tua Tagovailoa back there at home versus the Arizona Cardinals this week. And when I'm looking at the Cardinals, it doesn't matter to me if, and this is a very bad matchup, it doesn't matter to me. Marvin Harrison is struggling. Kyler Murray is feeding Trey McBride. And you get the Miami Dolphins here. They rank 3rd versus tight end, giving up 6.4 points. They rank 4th in the red zone. They give up 29.3 yards. So top 5 in every single category. But why I love Trey McBride even more than that when the matchup is terrible here is because I have this gut feeling that the Miami Dolphins are going to beat the brakes off of the Arizona Cardinals this week with Tua being back. All their weapons are going to be flying at full force. And I think you're going to have a lot of garbage time pass work here for the Arizona Cardinals in this game. I know they could try and control the clock with James Conner with how bad the Miami run D is. But Miami's number one versus the wide receiver, number one versus the quarterback. So that's the only thing they can do is run. But if the Dolphins start putting up points, they're going to have to pass. So that's why I love Trey McBride as a play in a very bad matchup. Plus, he's a superstar tight end either way. Now, Jonnu Smith, my sleeper play of the week last year, that was an absolute smash play. That one was a major hit. Not starting him when you have Tua, Tyreek, Jalen Waddle, Achane, everyone back. He just falls out of the pecking order. When you had Tyler Huntley, he was more of a security blanket. That's what, struggling QBs when they come into a new system look for. Makes it easier on them. I don't think he's going to be that smash of a play here, even though you get the Arizona Cardinals, who rank 19th versus tight ends, 16th in the red zone, and give up 54.4 yards, which is bottom 10. I see this more as the superstars are going to get fed because their quarterback is back game here. And I only like Trey McBride in this matchup. That is the end of the episode, guys. That is my week 8 tight end stardom sit-em every single matchup. Now you guys have all my stardom sit-ems, all my rankings. So defense, kickers, quarterbacks, running backs, wide receivers, tight ends, stardom sit-ems, every position, quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end. Those are all out to you guys. That is my goal before the Thursday kickoff every single week as a content creator. Before we head out, guys, make sure you smash that like, smash that subscription, turn that bell on. It helps me out a ton. I cannot thank you guys enough for all the support on this journey. I mean, without you guys, where would it be, right? You guys make everything happen. It's all thanks to you guys. I can't thank you guys enough. And if you guys can't make the live stream, I'll be live at 5 p.m. Eastern today. So I'll be answering questions from 2 to 4. I'll be looking at some drafters things here. And if you want to drop any comment you have, it does not have to pertain to this video. Drop it down below, and I try to get to every single one of them. And that's it for me, guys. Hopefully I'll get to my smash starts here today, some sleepers, maybe, tomorrow, and I'll look at some buy low, sell high videos here. But I'll be live again tonight before the game, guys. I hope to see you in there. SleezBall out.